Good Sunday morning. This is Bishop Key Clark, and welcome to Word Online. Listen, like, share, comment. Let somebody know that Word is online, and we've got words to live by.
Come on. Let's go. Hey. Yeah. It's like this, come on. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. He'll come through. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. He'll come through. If I told you there's no situation that's too big or small or impossible for our God Jehovah, also known as Jireh, means he will provide. I can testify. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. He'll come through. He will come through. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. He'll come through. Tell your neighbor, don't be anxious about anything. He who cares for ravens cares about all things. Yeah. And let me remind you, he has the master plan. Just cast all your cares in his hands. If you pray just a little bit, if you pray, wait just a little bit, if you wait, you'll hear it a little bit, or you may see that the good Lord is willing and able. Don't let nobody tell you that he ain't faithful. Oh. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. He will do it for you. He'll come through. Just in time. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. Oh. He'll come through. DJ, tell him what it is.
It's your boy from the south side. He will come through every time. My God, Jesus always provides all your needs in perfect time. Oh yeah, don't worry, don't stress. Yeah, take that weight off your chest. Cause his ways are higher. Yeah, he always knows best. Mountains are moving out of my way. Mustard seed, but with his faith. 1-2 step when I give him my praise. All God's people, raise your hands with me. Oh heavens, angels, catch a vibe with me. Raise your hands with me, catch a vibe with me. Hey, oh heavens, angels, catch a vibe with me.
If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. He will do it for you. He'll come through. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you.
He will do it for you.
He'll come through. He'll do it. Hey. He'll do it for you. God will provide. He'll come through. God will provide. If you did it for me, he'll do it for you. God will provide. He'll come through. God will provide. Yes. He will always come through. Yeah.
You come through,
Come through, na-na.
Family, if you would please repeat after me the Word Assembly affirmation. We, the members of Word Assembly, speak by faith that we are a people thankful for our salvation, serious about our education, and committed to the demonstration of God's love to this world. We are consistent in giving the tithe and the offering, knowing that God will give us what we need, when it is needed, and more than what is needed. We are submissive to the Spirit, cooperative with our leaders, and loving with one another. We are doers of the word, bearers of spiritual fruit, and we are victorious in all that we say and do.
I want to, if I can, I want to give you the introduction. Then I'm going to give you the text. And then I'll give you the point. If I could just kind of rearrange the structure of delivery, give you the intro, without you not necessarily knowing where I'm going. But stay with me, and we'll get it. I've heard a whole lot of talk about, and rightly so, experienced it within my own ministry, about how there is, and there is, a great exodus of people who no longer are interested in church. There's a lot of talk, and pastors, we're honest, we all have our own concerns and our own issues and challenges, and we've had conversations, and in conversations we've dropped truth that's uncomfortable for us to mention, but it's yet true. We say stuff for the church like they used to. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact times have changed. And I think today, if I may, suggest a remedy for the lack of attendance on Sunday morning, for the lack of involvement throughout the week. I think there's a remedy. I think there's a solution for our problem. What I'm a little concerned about, if we are bold enough to do, I think there's a way that we can change not the inevitable. I think there's a way we can change the momentum. Can't change the inevitable. The Bible talks about a great falling away. The Bible speaks that in the latter days things are going to happen. So we can't change the inevitable. And I think sometimes we spend too much time on fighting stuff that won't change. The world is going to end. People are going to get crazy. And things are going to get worse. That's the Bible. But I think there's a way, though we cannot change the inevitable, we can pick up the momentum in that people can once again love God like those of us who know Him say we do. The answer is found in John's Gospel, chapter 12. John's Gospel, chapter 12, comes on the heels of Lazarus being raised from the dead. Lazarus being raised from the dead has taken upon a huge excitement among the crowd. You got to think about that, because sometimes we're guilty of missing the power of the passage because of our familiarity with it. Jesus has raised Lazarus from the dead, and Lazarus has been dead 4 days. 4 days. He died on Monday, let's say. Tuesday, he was buried. Wednesday and Thursday, he's already in the grave, in the tomb. The stone's been rolled in front of him. Jesus shows up and says to them, roll the stone away. And he calls Lazarus back from the grave. That act of resuscitating Lazarus, that act of that brought Lazarus back to life. What's interesting is when you read chapter 11, what you'll discover is that after the resuscitation of Lazarus being brought back to life, I say resuscitation because preachers, we know that there's a difference between resuscitation and resurrection. Resuscitation is when you die and you come back. But resurrection is when you die and you come back and you don't die no more. Jesus was not resuscitated, he was resurrected. And so Lazarus being resuscitated, the pain has its own place. And the religious leaders got a problem now. Because Jesus' miracles have put a huge impact on their temple attendance. Jesus has showed up on the scene and stuff he's doing and how he's getting down has caused temple not to be as strong in its attendance as it once was. And so the Bible says they seek out to kill him. Chapter 12 opens up with the festival about to happen, how people are coming from near and far to not only see Jesus, but Lazarus in the grave. So that's the kind of environment that's going on. And you get to chapter 12, and Jesus is riding to Jerusalem, and there's how it pulls not only based upon his popularity and teaching, but again, because of this powerful miracle of resuscitation of Lazarus back to life, the crowd is in cahoots about it. So he goes to that triumphal entry. I want you to look at John chapter 12. Now this is not the text I want to preach, but because it's part of the context and accentuate to the weight of the text, I want to read it to you. And this is what he says in verse number 17 of John chapter 12. He says, now the crowd that was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from the dead continued to spread the word. Many people, because they had heard that he had performed this sign, went out to meet him. So the Pharisees said to one another, see, this is getting us nowhere. Look how the world, the whole world, has gone after him. You read that with me? But come on, let me put on the patience just for a minute. Now this was my brother's first time preaching the gospel bowl, and he gave me 2 minutes back. I'm going to take this 2 minutes. Look. I'm going to borrow my brother's 2 minutes. Listen. He says, the Pharisees, listen to what they say. The Pharisees are those who are moralists. The Pharisees, those who are skilled in the art of the law. It said by some that they have memorized the Torah. The Pharisees are consistently and fasting and doing all of those churchy spiritual things. Listen to what they say. So the Pharisees said to one another, they're at their ministers' meeting. And they start discussing. Listen to what they say. They say, see, this is getting us nowhere. Look. Have y'all noticed? And perhaps they start calling each other by name. Have y'all noticed? I had an annual day yesterday, ain't nobody show up. Have y'all noticed? I'm trying to do everything that I can to get people to come back in this church. I've given away prizes. I've got all kinds of ministries going on. Haven't y'all noticed this ain't getting us nowhere? The whole world is active. Verse 20 says, now there were some Greeks among those who went up to worship at the festival. They came to Philip, who was from the Sabbath in Galilee, with a request, and listen to what they said. Sir, we would see Jesus. spite of what is inevitable. What gets the house full again is the question they ask. Because you can tell a lot, not just from the answer to the question, but you can tell a lot about the question that's asked. First, you can say the answer is in the question. Come look at somebody and say the answer to your life in your ministry is in the question. But can I take it a step further? Now, push the envelope just a step further. It's not only the lack of church attendance that answer, but it's the answer for any area in your life that ain't going as well as it needs to go. It's in your relationship with your brother. It's in your relationship with your family. It's in your relationship with your children. Whatever your relationship is, if you want it the way it is supposed to be, the answer's in the question. Here's the question. We would see Jesus. Now, before I tell you what the question is, let me tell you what got me excited. What got me excited is that the text lets me know that somebody is still looking. Oh, you missed that. You missed that because if you're not careful, you will think that nobody is looking. If you're not careful, you think that Jesus and all that he represents is just always following. Oh, don't be fooled. There are people who are still looking. But who are they? The text says we. And he says it was Greeks. It was Greeks who had found their place in the vessel. In other words, they had not yet converted to Judaism, but they were thinking about coming over. And in other words, they had toiled with religion, Judaism, but it didn't satisfy. They were used to going through the rituals and the routines, but it didn't satisfy. The first thing I want to lift up from the question is pay attention to the people who are looking for Jesus. Because that's the answer to how we feel it. You see, the problem a lot of times is that we are not making an impact and churches are not growing because we're looking for the wrong people. Yes, we're looking for the wrong people in that we are anticipating people to come who already know what we know. Most times on Sunday morning, come on, Pastor Peter, when you go preach places, you preach what people like to hear, because people like to hear what they already know. But when he says these Greeks had come to see, what they were saying was, we tried religion, but that ain't working. We tried to handle it through the lenses of our own denomination, and we tried to handle it through the lenses of our own structure and system, but it does not satisfy. You see, the people that are going to fill up our churches are the people who are saying to us that I don't want religion, I need relationship.
It is God for me. It is God for me. Can't you see all the ways He's been blessing me? Praise Him, I say glory be to Him. The blessings come from Him, so praise Him. He woke me up this morning, gifted me with life to live. My home, my health, oh everything you